Hi, everybody. It's Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. I'm just going to get myself a cup of coffee and then I will return. I've got some copyright free music from, let's see, what do I have here? Breaking Copyright Chill Instrumental. It's called Embrace by Sapphirus. Hi, Nick. Welcome, welcome. I'll be back in just a minute. I'm getting a cup of coffee. Hi, Lioness. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. Remember to hit the thumbs up when you come in, guys. I'll be back in just about 3 minutes. I boiled water for coffee like 2 times already. I boiled all the water out. Hello, everybody. Hi, Bernadette. Welcome. Good to see you guys. I'm boiling water for coffee like for the 3rd time. I boiled all the water out before. I get so busy, I'll turn the water on to boil. I'll go and do some things. I come back and there's no water in it. And then, of course, sometimes I'll turn it on, come to the laptop, do some work, and the criminals will put me to sleep, and then all the water will burn away. How's everybody doing? If anybody has a testimony that they would like for me to read on the channel, you can email me or we can arrange for a phone call. I'm not set up for the Zoom yet, like David. Um, there's a paid feature, and right now I really don't want to pay another monthly fee. But I'm happy to read your testimony online if you've got a page or two that you'd like for me to read. I just posted a video. I'll post the link. It was a flyer that I found today that Karen Stewart wrote back in 2018. Here you go. So just before I signed on, I got an alert about Kentucky cops gone wild. So evidently there was a protest, and the Kentucky troopers, the police, were hustling quite a few of the protesters. I mean, we have allegedly freedom of speech, but 4 coppers like to pummel innocent people, just jump on them, tackle them to the ground. Bunch of bullies. It was on the Here's the Deal channel. I don't know. Kentucky police have been in the news a lot lately. Hi, Elsie. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Yes, so I won't give the name of the individual, but I just received an email. I enjoy reading the emails. Hi, Nick. Oh, yeah, fake insurance policies. Yes, from what I understand, that is what they do. Because what they do is they identity theft everything. Like when I moved from New Jersey to Kentucky, they stole my passport. After I traded in my license, my license plates here in Kentucky, they stole my New Jersey license plates. When my mother passed away, somebody went into her wallet and stole her driver's license. I was so pissed because it had her photo on it, right? Obviously she's my mother and I wanted her photo. So, they stole her driver's license. They steal everything. And the unfortunate thing is that the people that are supposed to protect us don't. They're all involved in organized crime across the board. And yes, they take out fake insurance policies. I've heard so many stories from other people stealing inheritances. And this is why we need to shine the light on this. We really do need an investigative journalist. Oh my goodness, Elsie. I'm so sorry to hear that. What happened? Yeah, Karen has mentioned this, the fake insurance policies. That's why they like to delete us so that they can collect on us. Like, even if you have your own insurance policy, they'll still take one out. Yes, I'm going to read the subscriber email. Let's see. Dear Lorraine, in your email, you spoke about going to sleep. I mean, meaning they put me to sleep. They knock me out while I'm at the laptop. So there must be something. I need to get those blue blocker glasses. But I just paid my homeowners and auto insurance, and I'm like, I have no money. um, she says, I can relate to that as well. I want my life back so bad. It's so painful what they do to me daily, and no help is available to us. I also experience the shaking, just like Justin did. Justin Pitt. It's a targeted military guy. She sent me a video of him. And the last video was 6 years ago. So somebody wrote "rest in peace" in the description section. So I don't know if he is just is in hiding. You know, you never know with targeted people. So she goes on to say, um, I experienced the shaking just like Justin did, and also the electrical stimulation in the bottoms of my feet, around my lips, above my eyebrows, side of my head, on and on. It hurts when you tell someone and they look at you like you're crazy until it happens to them. Then they'll understand. When I had car issues, they kept my car for 6 weeks before I got it back. And now looking over it, it too has been chopped. It never ends. Take pictures of your vehicle and date. Do your interior, motor, radio, anything that can be documented for future references. No joke, Lorraine. My 1982 GMC truck, now my Toyota Camry. Thanks for letting me vent. By the way, the only real way to end all this targeting is to take away the money. I agree 1,000,000,000%. When you take away the money, it ends it all. No gravy train, no targeting. And also the FISA 702. That's just another way for them to um, hide the money. Stay strong and thanks for what you're doing. They are key logging me as I type. I know that's been happening to me too. They actually prevent me from typing. Let's see, what other comments do I have here? Oh, yes, and I have permission to read this, but let me just go into the comment section and see if somebody's commenting. Went to sleep in chair and woke up and left side numb but full recovery. Oh, okay. They like overcooked you, Elsie. Yeah, yes. You got hit with a lot of dew. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to read, and she says I can say her name. It's Deborah Florian. You know, she's the one with my West Virginia horror story. But I was watching the YouTube channel, John Bryan. He's the civil rights lawyer, and he's located in West Virginia. And obviously, Deborah lives in West Virginia or lived in West Virginia. And so I saw something, and it was actually a cop video that took place in the town that she was living. So I sent it to her, and then this is her response. She says, there are many of them and many more about corruption of the powers that be in other areas of the state as well. She says, I was on an EPTA bus close to the scene in the video that you sent me. I saw the the clusterfuck of police cars. Just another day in the neighborhood. I'm going to give you a brief for me, rundown of John's videos about the evil stuff that happens in Martinsburg, West Virginia, all caught on cam. These cops know very well the cams are on and do it anyway. That's the thing that really gets to me, is that some of these cops know the cameras are rolling. There's cameras everywhere, and they still do the horrible stuff they do. And the reason is plausible deniability. It's sort of like anybody that is a parent. If you don't punish your children, meaning take something that they want away from them when they don't do their homework. They don't do their homework. Okay, well, you can't watch your favorite show. Okay, take away the cell phone for 24 hours. See how that feels. Um, if there's no disciplinary actions when somebody does something wrong, they're going to keep doing it. And that's what these cops do. Cops kill an innocent man and got away with it. Until now, a poor soul walking on the shoulder of Highway I-81 was murdered by the West Virginia state cop in February 2023. Criminal charges never filed. Family got a settlement. Sheriff indicted 8 months after my video. Now, the former sheriff of Berkeley County, which is where Martinsburg is, Nathan Harmon, finally resigned after so much of his corrupt behavior was uncovered. But he got off with little to no real consequences. These coppers should be in fucking prison. Excuse my French. They should be in prison. The sheriff's daughter busted? What happens when the sheriff's daughter gets special treatment? The incident that started Nathan Harmon's fall from grace, but this was just the most obvious, easily identified problem. 4 days in jail for the middle finger? That was another video. Somebody gets 4 days in jail for giving a copper the middle finger, which is, big deal. Obviously, nobody should be giving the police the middle finger. I agree with that. But it's protected First Amendment right. And these hothead Martinsburg City police know it. It happened in the same parking lot as the video that you sent me, she says. Next video. Head of state police resigns. His name was Jan, Jan Cahill. Just a clusterfuck mess. Not my words. These are Deborah's. Breaking. West Virginia State Police implodes. Whistleblower tells all. Another video. Background for the above mess. Next video. West Virginia State Police video results in indictment. Then this happens. A stupid underage boy did some stupid stuff in a vehicle in a very early morning hours around November 18, 2018. His actions earned him a beating from the state boys and the Berkeley County Sheriff's deputies, all on cam. Then the governor, Jim Justice, initiated an investigation that somehow brought no results. The kid's mom was evidently too intimidated to file a civil lawsuit. And now, for the finale, my favorite of them all. Next video. My client gets shot by police through his closed front door. I saw that actually. It happened in 2010 in Morgan County to a man by the name John Ulysses Everett, who is a friend of a friend. In this video, you can see Vince Shambar, the sheriff at the time, running around trying to do damage control. I have mentioned his name many times in my episodes of my West Virginia horror story that took place in Morgan County. The sheriff's deputy that fired the shots through the victim's front door claims to have heard another cop on the scene yelling, "Shoot, shoot!" The other cop denied giving that order. John Bryan, the civil rights lawyer, and the victim settled out of court. No criminal charges were filed. This video is 4 years old. Like I say, there's a lot more videos about corruption of the powers that be here in West Virginia on John Bryan's channel. Feel free to share this if you wish, Lorraine. As always, you can use my full name, Deborah Florian. Okay, thank you, Deborah. Corrupt cops. Hi, River Bluff. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hi, SDL. Good evening, good evening. I don't always see who's coming into the chat while I'm reading, so let me just scroll up. See, I think I've got everybody. SDL, River Bluff, new people, hit the thumbs up. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't see Mr. Con Artist here tonight. I received a very bizarre email. I don't know if it was from an agent. I don't know. It's from somebody trying to dissuade us from believing it's our own damn government. But I might read some of it. I wasn't going to, but maybe in the chat I'll read it. 1 second. Let me see if I can find it first, and then I've got to go get my boiling water before it boils out again for the third time. Okay, let me see here. 1 second. But let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay, I might read some of this, but give me 1 minute because I have to go turn off the burner before the water boils away. And by the way, the email that I'm going to read to you, I don't believe it for a minute, but I'm going to read it anyway. Okay, I'm going to read this and tell me what you guys think. Let me just read what you're saying. Hi, 6v6. Hi, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. You know, my birthday's in 2 days. I'm going to be another year older, another year wiser, another year of targeting. But listen to this email. This is the weirdest. This is such a weird email, and tell me what you think. It's from a D. Well, I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but I don't even know how this person got my email address. I don't know who I don't know this person at all. I've never spoken to this person. I don't think this person has ever left me a message. And in the subject heading, it says targeted individual priority message. Priority one message from another TI. Shield yourself with Faraday cage, or lead shielding with waterproof airtight barrier over it. Untested. Multiple accounts of the, and I really don't want to use this word, so I'm going to just place it in the chat. Okay? I'm going to place it in the chat. This targeted person is speaking about this group of people as being the perpetrators of our targeting. Can you all see that? Okay, so instead of saying yes, okay, so that's why I really don't want to read it. So in place of that word, I'll say cats. Okay, how about that? Cats. Multiple accounts. The cats are attempting to block me from the cats government has invaded the US, Japan, China, Taiwan, Australia with nanochips. Other tech, this is not the US doing this to you, or I would have been arrested long ago. And so would you have you need to see this? The cats are manipulating you to believe your own government is attacking. It isn't. I just showed the Japanese, Ukrainian, and Philippine governments how to detect nanochips, and I'm still here talking to you. Instructions: build a large metal enclosure, metal box of the thickest metal you can with a metal door. Like we can all build a metal enclosure that fits us. Do you have any idea how costly that is? It needs to be completely sealed in metal, except for a hole for a metal tube bent at multiple angles, important so signals don't go down the vent. So I'm going to cut and paste this so that you can see what these instructions are, okay? Hi, Ace of Cups. Welcome, welcome. I'm reading an email that I received, but it's not just about this building the Faraday. It's talking about how the fusion centers, like everything that we're talking about, this person is claiming that it's not any of those things. Please remember to hit the thumbs up when you guys come in. Then he goes on to say, run hundreds of thick metal wires and attach one end metal to metal, several different spots on the outside of the metal box and the metal air tube, and attach the other ends of the wires to several metal rods pounded in the ground, like earth ground rods. This will dissipate all radio signals directly into the earth instead of into your heads. If it blocks your cell phone device, it probably was built correctly, but it needs to be built strong enough to block it and make sure you have enough air. Do not sit in it during a lightning storm. It may attract lightning, and do not hit buried utility lines such as a gas or power when placing the ground rods. I mean, that kind of makes sense. When you see street theater, that is 2, 10, or hundreds of more cats, thought control agents controlling the people around you. They can control muscle movements and speech of unshielded people, and all that are not shielded are vulnerable to these attacks. They can make someone flying an airplane fly over you by controlling them to do so without the pilot knowing you exist or that there is a cat agent doing this. Possibly Russians also. They can also make a car with an encoded threat word on a license plate drive past you at the exact same second that code threat word appears on a music radio broadcast or even an MP3 on your car stereo, because the agents are controlling your movements and the movements of others around you, and they time everything so it matches up. This is real. This isn't the US government. I just revealed to the Ukrainian, Japanese, and Philippine governments how to detect nanochips in the human body through a scientific method. And the National Guard saw my signal flares, and they're not arresting or detaining me. I'm telling you, this is not the cats doing it. Wait. I'm telling you, this is cats doing it. I'm sorry. The cats, that other country. The agents in cats put false information into your head, making you believe it's the US. It isn't. They want to turn you into a weapon or give false information. Well, I don't know. We all know it. We all know where the money's going here in the USA. The FBI, the fusion centers, the InfraGard, the community watch groups, your criminals on patrol, your neighbors on patrol. Come on. We all know that's happening. They are not cats. When unshielded, you can block out daydream visuals by focusing on the environment around you. Focus on what is around you. Try not to focus inwards on your brain too much. Get plenty of sleep. Yeah, good. yeah, we'll try that. Stay as sober as you can. You can also train yourself to block out all incoming words into your brain. It takes practice. Just train your brain to shut down incoming words, and you can block out most of their words for extended periods. My scientific credentials are: I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, a former extra class amateur radio operator. I am 15 years as a targeted individual, and I have not been arrested. Get the word out to everyone. I also want to add that the cats will also simulate a US agent. Once you snap out of it and see that it is the cats, it's not a US agent. The agent targeting me, meaning him, is from cats. They blew their cover and made several mistakes. It isn't the US agent, but they will attempt to convince you that it is. Just ask yourself, if this was the US, why would you, me, and hundreds of thousands of whatever number of TIs just be sitting here on the internet typing this? It isn't the US, please believe me. And he gives me this email. And if you want to email this person, I'll give you the email address right here. 1 second. Hi, business owners. Welcome. I'm just reading an email that I received from an unknown person. Hi, Greek Target. Yeah, I don't think writing to the Rothschilds will get us anywhere. I know. For some reason, yeah, if it's cats, they're smart. Yeah, good. Yes, yes, that's true. Actually, the country that he was discussing does not like cats. Japan likes cats. They actually have an entire island just for cats. Flooding in where? Catville? What if we distract them with a play toy or catnip? Oh, that's so funny. Oh my goodness. My neighbors have been so quiet. They must have a gag order. Oh, Catville, yes, Catville, yes. And interesting. I had a cat, and I named her China. Back in New Jersey, I named her China because she was like such. She was like a little China doll. Like one of those little porcelain dolls. She's just always so sweet and so poised and everything. And I named her China. I've had problems with the names that I've given some of my cats. I named one of my cats Isis because the criminals damaged one of her eyes. So she had one eye problem. I named her Isis. Well, when I had her on eBay, fundraising with her cat photos and stuff, they actually removed, and PayPal actually told me that I had to change the cat's name, that I could not use the name Isis for the cat. I kid you not. Yeah, Zoomy. Zoomy's so cute. Zoomy's like wandering around now. He's been sleeping in here at night. And his little son, I named Moozy. Looks just like him. I've had so many cats. Their names, oh my goodness. Let's see. One was Trouble, Cassie or Cassandra, Peaches, Sebastian, Cinnamon, Marco. Did he and the fox have a falling out? No, I mean, he still does the little foxtrot. I have my door open now to see if the fox comes by. We've had a lot of rain, and I have so many raccoons, it's like ridiculous. What is Saturn doing? Yeah, there's a lot of Saturn worship. Oh, Saturn, Neptune. 1 second. Let me get my little booklet out here. Well, actually, tomorrow, early in the morning, the moon will make a positive aspect to Saturn early in the morning. Fluff, please. Gang stalking is paused. Mason celebration. People telling you what you can and cannot call your cat. Well, I have cats now, Avesta, Pallas. These are asteroid goddesses. I have a cat named Bibs, Venus. They deleted my cat Leo. They deleted Mikey. They deleted Buddha. Your brother's a Mason? Oh, that's a cute name. Graciela Cook. Because she's so clumsy. That's so cute. That's cute. River Bluff, you're the black sheep. Your cat's name is Sue. He's a boy, Mr. Sue. You know, Michaela Rains from Save a Fox, she had some really nice names for her foxes, and she had so many foxes, and I don't know where she got all these names from. Some of them were uh, Johnny Cash is a cat's name. Oh, right, the boy named Sue. Oh, that's right. That song. That's right. That's right. I know. I was just I watched a video that her husband put out today of her daughter Freya. Her daughter Freya was playing with the foxes. It's the first video that he's put out since the Remembrance of Life ceremony. Build a cat. I've had cats my entire life. I used to bring home cats as a child. I actually hid a cat in my a kitten in my bedroom back in when I lived in the Bronx. So would you guys like for me to read some paragraphs from my new books? So I've got this new book, Secret Societies and Subversive Movements by Nesta H. Webster. I wish I could show you. Like I I wish there was some screen sharing. I have to figure out. I think it's StreamYard that allows me to do that. I just don't have the time to figure out all the technology. And one of my subscribers sent me a laptop. It's still in the box. I haven't hooked it up yet. Oh, your dad was a Grandmaster Mason? Oh, hi, SSL. Your first live. Welcome. Welcome. So, generally, what we do in the live is we introduce ourselves and chat amongst ourselves, and then I'll usually read comments read from excerpts from books and stuff like that, because what happens is when the live ends and we upload it, a lot of people like to listen to the live because it's usually 2 hours long. They like to listen to it while they're driving in the car or whatever. So if there's a lot of silence, they don't get to hear everything. But then there are other people that prefer to read what's going on in the chat, because a lot of times we'll add links and URLs and stuff. So everybody likes the live streams for different reasons. So for anybody who hasn't received notifications, I posted on the community page a flyer that Karen Stewart wrote back in 2018. And it's called Fascist Predatory America by Karen Stewart, retired NSA intelligence analyst. And then after I posted it for you to read and share, I read it on the channel just a short while ago. So you have it in writing, and then you're able to listen to it. Then earlier today, I read Symptoms of Fascism in Society. I thought it just seems like a lot of what we're experiencing is like a different form of a different culture. It's very authoritarianism. And these are fascist techniques used in targeting individuals, and with the help of ChatGPT, who seems to always tell the truth. So that, and then yesterday I posted a video, Project Stigma, stigmatization campaigns spread in communities about targets. So let me post that link in the chat, and then I'll read some other stuff to you guys. Oh, you were adopted. I don't have anybody in my family that was a Mason. Well, actually, wait a minute. That's not true. I just found out that I think well, I won't discuss it. But no, my father wasn't. I do have a cousin that was he was a cop, and then I guess he became a lieutenant or whatever. I don't know if he was a Mason. I have no idea. And you know, the thing is, it's very possible, like back in the day, like you said, that your 85-year-old mother said that the grandfather was a Freemason. You know, I believe, like, maybe back in the day, like decades and decades ago, perhaps their techniques were different. I don't know. I'm just speculating that with the rampant, how organized crime is run rampant in our culture. I'm not saying that it wasn't like that, 50, 80 years ago, but it seems to be getting progressively worse. And I would imagine that whether it's a cult or these occult groups and stuff, it seems to have gotten out of hand and progressively worse. I don't know. I'm speculating, I really don't know. Yes, well, stigma, when you stigmatize something, and how I found that out is Cagey mentioned listening to a man named Russ Dizdar. He was a pastor. So I listened to one of his videos, and in the video, he mentioned Project Stigma. I've never heard of that before. So I looked up Project Stigma, and that's what I found. So I had no idea it existed, but it makes sense, because what is a slander campaign? What is defamation? It is a stigmatizing, blacklisting an individual. Riverbluff says, my whole family is military and Masons. Great combo. Oh my goodness. Or do you feel that's how you became targeted? River Bluff? Thank you, Ace of Cups. Can you make this stuff available in print? Um, what stuff available in print? The Project Stigma? Oh, the stuff I'm reading. Um, I'm going to be reading a book. I can't. I can't print what's in the book. I haven't even read the book yet. What I generally do when I get a new book is I just open it, and wherever I open it to, that's what I read. Like, I don't start a book from the beginning to the end unless I have to. Yeah, so I'm going to read from this Secret Societies and Subversive Movements. Let me read the back. Let it be said once and for all, secret societies have not always been formed for evil purposes. On the contrary, many have arisen from the highest aspirations of arising from such systems usually consisted in the perversion of principles that were once pure and holy. If I do not insist further on this point, it is because a vast literature has already been devoted to the subject that it need only be mentioned briefly here. So now on this book is the square and compass, and there's a photo of the world. Actually, um, I could photograph the cover and maybe post a couple of sentences on the comments on the community page under a post. Okay, let's see. I'll have to turn to some page that is easier to. I don't want to get into all this religious stuff here. One second. I will read. Let's see. There's I think I read the preface in the last chat from last week. I think I read the preface. Okay, so then in the table of contents, we've got the ancient secret tradition, the revolt against Islam, the Templars, 3 centuries of occultism, the origins of Freemasonry, the Grand Lodge era, German Templarism and French Illuminism, the Jewish Kabbalists, the Bavarian Illuminati, the climax. Part 2, the present. Okay, so what I just read is the past. Part 1, the past of those. Part 2, the present. Modern Freemasonry, secret societies in England, open subversive movements, pan Germanism, the real Jewish peril. And then the conclusion, in the appendix, Jewish evidence on the Talmud, the protocols of the elders of Zion, and then the index. And let me see if I can fast forward here. I want to go back to the present here. Modern Freemasonry, page 271. Let me just really say, my Freemason dad had 2 divorces, and in second divorce, his ex-wife ended up in the mental hospital. At the end of it, now I understand differently upon reflection. Perhaps she was targeted. Probably. What do you know what year that might have been? Okay, this is page 271. This is chapter 11, Modern Freemasonry. In the foregoing portion of this book, we have followed the history of Freemasonry in the past and the various interpretations that have been placed on its rites and ceremonies. The question now arises, what is the role of Freemasonry today? The fundamental error of most writers on this question, whether Masonic or anti-Masonic, is to represent all Freemasons as holding a common belief and animated by a common purpose. Thus, on one hand, the panegyrics, I've never heard of that word, Panegyrics, by Freemasons on their order as a whole, and on the other hand, the sweeping condemnations of the order of the Catholic Church are equally at fault. I don't have anything good to say about the Catholic Church. I'm sorry. The truth is that Freemasonry is in a generic sense is simply a system of binding men together for any given purpose, since it is obvious that allegories and symbols like the X and Y of algebra can be interpreted in 100 different manners. Well, I have to tell you, those X's and Y's, they're all over my property. They etch these X's and Y's everywhere. Two pillars may be said to represent strength and stability, or man and woman, or light and darkness, or any other two things we please. A triangle, which they also etch all over the place, may signify the Trinity, or liberty, equality, and fraternity, or any other triad. I actually don't think that they're etching equality all over my property. Hi, Osen, welcome. Let's see, my ex-partner, who I believe joined in voluntary coercing blackmailing, but later she was doing tasks for them from her heart, and I believe that she was in a better place with better people. A triangle may signify the Trinity, or liberty, equality, or fraternity, and other triad. To say that any of these symbols have an absolute meaning is absurd. The allegories of Freemasonry are equally capable of various interpretations. The building of the Temple of Solomon may signify the progress of any undertaking, and Hiram, Hiram, the victim of its opponents. So, also with regard to the secret tradition of Freemasonry concerning a loss which has befallen humanity and its ultimate recovery, any body, not anybody, any body. Oh, thanks, Ace of Cups, 1990. Of people working for an object may be said to have experienced a loss and to aim at its recovery. In the same way, the whole organization of Freemasonry, the plan of admitting candidates to successive degrees of initiation, of binding them to secrecy by fearful oaths, is one that can be employed for any purpose, social, political, philanthropic, or religious, for promoting that which is good for, or disseminating that which is evil. Okay, so this writer is saying that there's the good side and there's the bad side. Now, there was, as we have seen from the beginning, besides the written charges, an oral tradition in Masonry, after the manner of the Kabbalah, on which the guidance of the society depends. The true character of any form of Freemasonry is thus not to be judged only for its printed ritual, but by the oral instruction of the initiates and the interpretations placed on the symbols and ritual. Naturally, these interpretations vary in different countries at different periods. Freemasonry is described in its ritual as a, quote, peculiar system of morality, Veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols, unquote. Well, is that an understatement? I'll read that again. Freemasonry is described in its ritual as a peculiar system of morality. I'm going to say it's perverted. It's perverted system of morality, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. But what code of morality? In studying the history of the order, we shall find that the same code was by no means common to all Masonic bodies, nor is it today. Some maintain a very high standard of morals. Others appear to possess no standards at all. Mr. Wade observes that the two doctrines of the unity of God and the immorality of the soul constitute the philosophy of Freemasonry. But these doctrines are by no means essential to the existence of Freemasonry. The Grand Orient has renounced both, but it still ranks as Freemasonry. I have to tell you, one of the best lawyers I ever had was a Freemason. He was a Mason. He was so good. He was so helpful, and not like the losers that live around here, like the nasty ones. Like he was like so different. So there's probably like the good ones and the bad ones. I don't know. It's like they're the organized criminals. Osen says, wonder why my ex-Muslim Arab nationality were visiting churches a lot, not knowing location pins when she had my. They aren't all evil, but they're all deceived. That's a really good point. And it's really interesting because I like to read the comments section under the Freemasonry YouTube videos. And every once in a while, you'll get a long-term Freemason write in the comment section that they're no longer part of it, but they were for a long time. And basically, what I just read to you, this one person recently wrote in the comment section that the way it's described to people that join is so deceptive. It's so manipulative that it's so easy for people to join in and believe that they're doing such a wonderful thing. But it's not until it builds years and years into it where you're totally scammed. And it kind of reminds me of, when you get involved with a narcissist, they're so wonderful in the beginning. You think you've met like the perfect person. Well, there's no such thing as a perfect person, but where they totally have you conned. And then little by little, like these little nasty character traits start leaking out. But the way this ex-Freemason described it is that it happens over years. And that it's so deceptive, it's so insidious that you have no idea what's really happening until you're totally enmeshed in it. I mean, I can see how it's so easily that people are deceived into thinking they're doing such a wonderful thing. So let's see. It goes on to say, M. Paul Norrison is therefore perfectly right in saying there are as many masonries as countries. There is no such thing as a universal masonry. Broadly, however, modern masonry may be divided into two kinds. The variety worked in the British Empire in America, Holland, Sweden, Denmark, and the Grand Orient masonry, which prevails in the Catholic countries, and of which the most important center is the Grand Orient of Paris. I've never heard of this stuff. Let me see. Hi, Billy. Welcome. let's see, they aren't illegal. I think she was being defined and stigmatized. My dad was also a member of the community hockey, softball leagues, which seems how these Masons interact. Interesting. There was a recent incident in Texas that involved the. Oh, really? I haven't heard about that. That's interesting. Yes, yes. Kubrick wanted to tell us they are, yes. Well, honestly, historically, that's happened in many cultures around the world where they have done that with children. And they have actually, in some cultures, left, the young people to die up on mountaintops, just left them there. Let's see, the masonry connection is probably under investigated. Yes, absolutely. It's really insidious, actually. And I'm sorry, it's a cult. It's not only do they practice occultish doctrine, but they are a cult. Like they want to call it a religion, but some religions are cults. So that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Let's see. The fact that masonry in Protestant countries is neither revolutionary or anti-religious is frequently used by Catholic writers to show that a Protestantism identifies itself with the aims of Masonry, and by Freemasons to prove that the tyranny of the Church of Rome has driven Masonry into an attitude hostile to church and state. The point overlooked in both these contentions is the essential difference in the character of the two kinds of Masonry. If the Grand Orient had adhered to the fundamental principle of the British Masonry, not to concern itself with religion or politics, there's no reason why it should have come into conflict with the church. Well, that's a good point. I mean, don't become involved in religion or politics. But its duplicity on this point is apparent. Thus, in one of its early manuals, it declares, like British Masonry, that it never interferes with questions of government or civil or religious legislation, and that whilst making its members participate in the perfecting of all sciences, it positively accepts in the lodges two of the most beautiful, politics and theology, because these two sciences divide men and nations, which Masonry constantly tends to unite. Yes, actually, I spoke to, well, I spoke to somebody who decided to join, doesn't go to any of these anymore, and he just said the same thing. He says, "Oh, it's basically a bunch of older guys that get together and help the community." That's what they're led to believe. And yes, and Kubrick was deleted. He absolutely was. I like to frame the Inquisition as Sunday school. Yeah, they were supposed to be pillars of the community. It's really interesting because I think that the former owner of my property, I think that he might have joined because I saw when I was tearing down the mobile home trailer, um, membership cards for the Order of the Eastern Star ladies. As soon as I saw that, like I couldn't wait to get rid of them. It's like, oh, so I know he was very religious. Like he went to church on Sundays. Like he was like an upstanding person. But he may have been involved, maybe at a very low level. I know they're supposed to be pillars of the community. Well, I think that they're led to believe that, and they're duped. It's sort of like Scientology. they lure people in thinking that they're joining this wonderful club. Meanwhile, they're audited, they give up all of their secrets, they're recorded, they're videotaped, and then if you leave, you get targeted. Well, I'm going to say something. They do help the community, but a lot of times it's a cover for other nefarious activities. Well, first of all, most of the Freemasonic lodges are, or at least the main one, is a 501c3 nonprofit. And under the IRS guidelines for any 501c3 nonprofit, you have to donate at least 10% of whatever money you take in to your cause. So they have to help the community. If they want to maintain their nonprofit status, they're required to give back. And honestly, I have to say, like, the IRS really needs to change up on that, because I think it's absolutely ludicrous that some nonprofits bring in millions of dollars and only donate 10% back to their cause. I think it needs to be a minimum of 50%. I think it's just so wrong. Yep, two sets of, exactly. So they are actually required to donate their time and document it. So that's why, like, I guess the Shriners do volunteer work and stuff. They're required, especially the lower levels, they're required to donate their time. They have to maintain that for their nonprofit status. Let's see. So now reading on here, even though it's talking about modern Freemasonry, it keeps referring back to, what happened like a zillion years ago. And since we didn't read that, let me see. This book is very detailed. Let me see if I can find something that's easier to read here. This is just going back too much into the history of it. And some of this I'm actually not going to be able to read because it involves topics that they don't want you talking about. Let's see. The hidden hand tells you what you need to know. Exactly. And that's what they do to targeted people. Are you getting static, or do you get the creepy voice? Are you getting a creepy voice? Usually, and I can't hear it until I play this back. Usually at the start, there is this creepy voice that kind of creeps in underneath. And it almost sounds like words, but I still can't figure out what the words are. Yeah, I would imagine there are two sets of books. The name of the Texan, Robert Wise. Robert, why does that sound familiar? Did that happen recently, Billy? Oh, good. Well, I'm making note of there are some people that are usually in the chat that are not here, including my two moderators are not here. Let's see. And I was thinking also, like, just with all organizations where they have where you have to pay. I mean, I know for me, like, I belong to a couple of groups and just for certifications and stuff. And hi, Oceanside, welcome. But a lot of people don't have the extra money to join and pay these fees. Like I had to delay renewing one of my fees. That's like $150. So, and from what I understand, if you join the Freemasonry, I think that they have, I don't know if it's, I think it's a monthly fee. I'm not sure if it's a monthly and annual fee, but you have to pay either way. Let's see. Supposedly, ordinary laws do not apply on their property. Would be interesting to find out if that's true or not. That's well. First of all, a lot of nonprofits purchase real estate, and they purchase real estate not with their own money. I know for a fact because I know some of those 501c3 feral cat cartel nonprofits who take your donations and buy houses so that they have real estate. But they don't tell you that when you're donating money to feed cats that they're not feeding. You can do what? Oh, that's terrible. But I'm sure that happens. I won't read that. Oh, okay, Billy, thank you. In 2023, but his family sued. Well, there are a lot of I hate the term whistleblower, but there are a lot of men and women that have come forward, and they're all across YouTube being interviewed that claim that they grew up in families, satanic families that sacrifice them, abuse them, etc., etc. So that you just mentioned that you can donate your, you know, for a lifetime membership. Um, a lot of people have come forward and stated that. I mean, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Yeah, these criminals, they're not doing that to me. That they just like to knock me out all the time. Like while I'm in the middle of working or reading, they'll just knock me out so they can steal my time and steal my hours and vibrate my body. So now I have another book. This one was really interesting, actually. This one I'm looking forward to reading more. I thought I put a marker in here because I really wanted to read. Okay, it's called Anti-Tracking, Hiding in the Shadows, An Illusion of Invisibility by David Diaz. The century-old art of anti-tracking has long been practiced by indigenous tribes and armies to create the illusion of invisibility. Like all those criminals that are on my property right now, hiding behind trees and buildings. This elusive skill is laid out in this first book of its kind, dedicated entirely to the subject. Retired military professional David Diaz has worked and trained with some of the most elite military forces on earth, and he's harnessed his 35 years of experience to teach others the science of eluding humans. This manual is part field guide, part fictional recounting of real life scenarios of drug smugglers using anti-tracking techniques and tactics to illegally cross the US Mexico border, bringing practical application to life. Anti-tracking, hiding in the shadows, an illusion of invisibility is an invaluable resource for beginner and accomplished practitioners alike that cover topics such as planning, insertion, patrolling, and extraction. Included in these pages is a fundamental source of knowledge for 21st century operators of anti-tracking. Yeah, I get the same thing, River Bluff. So, I thought I had, I wanted to read one of these. I read something really good in this book, and I thought I marked it. Let's see. So, in the table of contents, there's the early historic iterations of anti-tracking, trackers in the Bible, the ninjas of Japan, Native Americans, the Rangers of the French Indian Wars, African American runaway slaves, World War II, World War II Pacific Escape Mission, Vietnam veterans, Afghanistan veterans, American and Mexico border, anti-tracking overview, self-care for better tracking and anti-tracking skills, and what makes objects visible. I think we're going to go to that one. Let me see. Signs and tracks broken down in categories. Characteristics of signs, topography, passage into the promised land. Then chapter 2 is modern technology, visual, auditory, scent, tactile, and the meat. Chapter 3 is anti-tracking by individual preparations and responsibilities. Chapter 4 is anti-tracking by unsensing yourself. Shape, anti-tracking the shape. Shadows, anti-tracking the shadows. Silhouetting, anti-tracking silhouetting. Movement, anti-tracking movement. Spacing, anti-tracking spacement. Surface, anti-tracking surface. Oh my goodness. Auditory tracking, voice noises, mechanical noises, the causes of body noises, estimating the distance of sound. That is really difficult on my property. It's really hard to figure out where the sound is coming from here because I'm in the valley and with the trees around, it's hard to eat. Like when my guineas are cackling, I have a hard time figuring out what direction they're even coming from, because the sound kind of reverberates around here. So let me go to page 23. That looks like it was interesting. Okay, what makes objects visible? Hi, Cheryl, welcome. I just started reading a little excerpt from a book, Anti-Tracking, Hiding in the Shadows, The Illusion of Invisibility. And I read a little bit from a book on secret societies. And then I read a really interesting email. I read a few emails. One from a subscriber I won't mention. One from Deborah Florian on the corrupt cops in West Virginia and the civil rights lawyer videos on those corrupt cops. And then I read a really interesting email from somebody that claims that all of our targeting is not from our U.S. government. That's from another government that I named CATS because I won't use the name of the country. But you can scroll up and see it maybe after this chat. What makes objects visible? Shape, light, color, shadows, movement, spacing, surfaces, and silhouettes. Just to recap for a moment, tracks could be tread tires of a mechanical vehicle like a truck, a motorcycle, or of a human, or a manually pedaled machine like a bicycle or a scooter. Tracks can also include actual human latent prints that can be captured on smooth surfaces such as footwear impressions, that are left on a man-made or natural soft surface. And let me tell you what these efforts did today. These pieces of crap came into my bedroom, and I have a blanket that's like what is it called? Uh, it's like one of those soft blankets that I just throw over my bed. And it will easily leave an impression if you put something heavy on it. So one of these losers came in here, and their big hand that's bigger than mine put this big impression of a hand on my blanket. I go in there to change my pants from the ones I wore all day today into a pair of sweatpants now. And I go to sit on the bed, and there's this big handprint on my blanket. I put my hand over it, and it's definitely big. And I have big hands for a woman, just by the way. I have big hands for a woman. I put my hand on it, and it's bigger than mine. So I guess that's like another intimidation, like an intimidation tactic. I need a jammer. What for the creepy voice? Oh, and by the way, that creepy voice isn't just in my live stream. Sometimes I'll play back on the audio on my cameras, and I'll get the creepy voice in a camera. So it's definitely not anything that's happening on from YouTube. It's definitely happening on my end. They put a dog print on your pillow. Do you have a dog? I always carry a knife. Yeah, I always wear a knife. I have to have a knife because I'm always getting like boxes delivered. So I'm constantly like cutting open boxes, boxes of cat food. I had a Chewy delivery today. Any kind of box I have to open, I always have it. I wear a knife around my neck. And they've stolen my knife. 3 times I've had my knife stolen. My father collected knives, um, so I started collecting them too. 1 second. Let me just look outside because Kazoomi's outside, and sometimes he wants to come back in. He just sits on the porch. Zoomy! Zoom! There you are! Oh, you're not Zoomy. Where'd you come from? Oh my goodness, I was wondering. Hi, Zoom! Oh, this will be. Morning, Zoomy! Alright, let me get this guy something. Let me get him something. Big white. Yeah. Okay, so Zoomy's here. Let's see. Hopefully. I don't know what that is. A bird? What does a black cat running in my yard mean? What do you think they left the cat there? Let me see. 1 second. Oh, Mercury went retrograde yesterday. That's going to last for 3 weeks, just a little over 3 weeks. So it's not a good time to sign anything without checking it 2 or 3 times. I cannot believe it's the end of July already. Actually, next week, I've got an interview coming up with David and Holly. I'm just reading what you guys are saying. Let's see. Have a good night, Osin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Black cat crossing your path means that the animal is going somewhere. I don't look at black cats as being negative in any way. But I don't know. People always associate it with witchcraft or something. I don't understand why. Just because they're black, I don't get it. So let me see if there's something interesting in here to read. Move out of the way, Zumi. Okay, so in this book, written by David Diaz, signs and tracks broken down in categories. Signs and tracks are broken down into separate categories. These categories are at top, middle, and level ground. The imaginary line that differentiates the ground from middle signs and tracks is the ankle level, depending on vegetation. Ground signs and tracks leave imprints or other disturbances on the earth that can extend to the height and width of the chase, including his or her equipment if sitting or lying down or if walking through thick brush. Well, I know people are walking around on my property because these stupid losers think that they can walk around in the brush and it not flatten out. And then I go, so see that my brush is flattened and I know that somebody's walking on it. Hi, Carn Artist, welcome. I was wondering where you were. I know that there have to be owls around here, but I never hear owls. The only time I hear owls are those two stupid witchy women talking across my property that pretending to be owls. They haven't done it in a while, though. What kind of demonic activity? Do you capture it on any cameras, like any orbs? Well, first of all, when you go to sleep at night, These witches, they're out there doing witchcraft. They place it all over the place. You have no idea how much stuff I pick up on this property every day. It's overwhelming. I have piles and piles of it. I don't even have time to burn it all. There's so much of it. They're using like weapons and knocking branches off the trees, bark, to filthy the property, mark the property. Does your dog bark, Nick? Let's see. Ocean says one of the reasons Jesus said in the Bible not to believe in superstition is because those types of things a person is uncertain of will confuse you and mess with your clarity. Well, thank you, con artist. Says I think the black cat thing comes out of dark European folklore around the Middle Ages. I mean, of all the black cats I've ever had, they always have really nice personalities and they have great fur. Tend to not shed the way other cats shed, and their fur is really pretty. The problem with black cats I have is you cannot photograph them well. There's just something about their you have to get them in the right light, the proper lighting. Well, this time of the year, like the male cats that are not neutered, they start fighting with each other. Yeah, I don't associate black cats with witches or whatever. Most of them sacrifice animals anyway, so, and they might do so with black cats. Like, I've had black cats missing from this property. They just disappear. Yes, cats have always been held in high regard. The Egyptians had, bast. They would decorate their cats, like little princes and princesses. Yes, yes. And then there's the Abyssinian cat. I think it's an Egyptian cat. It's beautiful. I don't know. I've always liked cats. Little cats, big cats, doesn't matter. I'm not really a dog person, although puppies are adorable. Not really a dog person. Everybody keeps telling me to get a dog. I don't really want a dog, honestly. Yeah, I like watching the cat videos also. And the dog videos are hilarious too. That's so funny. My cat's got everyone figured out. He's networked the neighborhood. Got them in the palm of his paw. Yeah, dogs can be very annoying. Like I watch the dog videos and they're actually hilarious. Dogs and cats are just so different. And I love the videos. Hi, KG, welcome. I love the videos where where the owner has a dog and a cat, and the cats are always beating up the dogs. KG, I used one of your arts, your coasters or whatever, for the thumbnail of this live stream. You'll probably see it after I upload it. KG is very artistic and creative. Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure which one to use. I just clicked on one. Cats are hilarious. Although you have never owned a guinea, like these guinea fowls. My guinea attacked a rooster this week, and my cats are afraid of the guineas. Your dog's out of his mind. Well, what kind of a dog do you have? Your cat ripped to shreds a Saint Bernard. You gotta watch those cats' claws. I have a couple of cats. They don't want me to cut their nails. It's driving me nuts. I like to keep their nails cut short. And my long-term cats know, they pretty much allow me to cut their nails, but these new cats that are like a few months old, they won't let me cut their nails. Oh, a border collie. Oh, yeah, they're really cute. Yeah, I watch a lot of animal videos. I like the rescue videos, but I like the videos that just regular pet owners post of their pets doing crazy stuff. Like dogs generally don't jump on counters, but because they're tall, um, they'll knock things off of the counters like food. But I saw a couple of videos where cats will get jump on the counter and actually dump food on the floor for the dog. I saw another video where the dog was afraid to go down the stairs because the cat was on the stairs. You like what? The plant man that scares the will to live out of unsuspecting passerbys. So let's see what other. Let's see. Connor says, KJ, I liked your comment regarding Russ Dizdar in terms of satanic warfare and satanic demonic involvement in the military. He's the man to learn from. They're definitely involved in that stuff. So I read a couple of emails before. Oh yeah. Okay, so she must be listening. Okay. Thank you for reading my email. I just received an email. Thank you for reading my email. People need to know this is true and to believe us TIs when we describe our targeting. Wish others would get interested in researching this technology. Thanks again, Lorraine. So she's probably listening in the background, not in the chat. let's see. Oh, yes, and thank you. Yes, I did watch the video, Following in Mommy's Footsteps. Michaela Rain's Save a Fox daughter, Freya, the video that was posted today was really cute with her feeding the foxes. I'm just going into my mail because I know that I've marked things to read. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to read this. This is a, and if you want to say that it's you who are in the chat, let me know. I'm just going to read this. I'm finding medical research from the Air Force of how they're treating soldiers with internal and external burns from RF microwave. One important thing we need to do is cool the neck, specifically the jugular veins. I thought we were getting knocked out with a frequency, but it's not. It's from the brain getting heated too hot. It's basically a coma. They treat with jugular cold saline pushes to cool the brain. Unless you have those on hand, the next best thing is ice packs around your neck and head immediately. Of course, don't put the ice directly on the skin. If you suddenly start feeling sleepy, get up fast and get ice on your neck. Then head, then armpits, then groin, over the big veins where your leg crease meets your pubic bone. Well, that's really interesting because when these creatures put me to sleep, when I wake up, like in between my legs is really hot. My feet are vibrating and I feel totally out of it. So, I mean, it makes sense. If you don't catch it in time and just get knocked out, do this when you wake up right away. The brain takes a long time to cool down. And I actually bought an ice pack for my head. And when I woke up with a very bad headache one day, I put it on my head and I just walked around with it, and it did feel better. She goes on to say, I instinctively knew there was something to putting them on your neck, the ice packs. And for me, between my breasts, where to go here? Um, in in my sternum because they direct waves right there, and I sweat from one spot there. It's now scarred and concave, my skin, so I put ice packs there too. I've noticed when I go to bed with one between my boobs and lay on my neck, the attacks are much less severe. I finally found the evidence to why that is while I finally found the evidence to why that is while researching tonight. If that's too much, get in a cool shower, but not for too long because internal organ burns can get worse doing that. That's interesting. What I usually do is I will turn on the cold water and stick my feet and ankles under there. This info was from their report in 2013. So they've been treating soldiers for this for years and years. They said they're researching a person device to detect RF exposure, how long and exactly where or on the body. So I know that they have those now. These bastards, They can burn our insides without burning the skin. And you know how it's happening. That's how they ruptured my kidneys in 2020. Well, I won't go into all this personal stuff. That's from severe inflammation caused by microwaves, but it's not detectable in blood work. That's interesting. It's not detectable in blood work. So your SED rate and CRP are not affected even though you have severe edema. Like I woke up today and my lips and eyes and neck were so swollen I could hardly see or open my mouth because of the swelling. So I get lots of ice packs. Those reusable oval shaped ones that have an elastic wrap are great for putting around your neck because you can use two of them to get both veins at the same time and still be mobile and have use of your arms. If you don't know the ones I'm saying, I can send you a pic. They're about $20 on Prime for three of them. Now, ironically, I posted pics of my burns on my right calf. It's like it goes deep into the muscle and it goes necrotic. It's just horrible stuff. And at least we know what's happening. Imagine all the people out there that this is happening to that don't know what's going on. Yes, yes. I didn't want. Uh, it was Cagey's email. Yes, I wasn't sure if it was okay for me to use your name. The email that I just read is from Cagey. Is that true, Cheryl? A witch killed Russ? Kevin, did you send me the abstract that you published recently? Is that something that you emailed me? Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think. Yeah, you could post the link here. It's okay if you post links in the chat. On the YouTube channel itself, like in the comments section, YouTube withholds those for me to approve. But you can post links in the chat here. If you've got a link to that article, your research. Did you guys hear that? The criminals just exploded something on my driveway. Did you hear it? That's what happens here in Jackson County, Kentucky. I'm so glad you all heard it. Everybody in the chat heard it. Yeah, you heard it too? Everybody heard what just happened. Hi, Matson Miles. Yes, it sounded like a bomb. Oh, I'm so glad it's on the chat. Everybody heard it. Now it's heard. And now I can send this, I can send at least a portion to the appropriate authorities. Let's see, Carter says, yes, I hear that thunder flash sound, concussion flash used in police and military. Yes, you all heard the explosion. I'm so glad. And now the creepy voice is back. Wow, yes. Greek Target says the Masons are back from the lodge. And what was that? That's approximately midnight that happened. Well, it's 12:05 a.m. And we all know that my local neighbors around here, they like to use the midnight hour. That's when they drape the poopy toilet paper across my gate. But when they do this, they think that it's harassing me. But think about it. I live in the middle of a national forest. That noise affects every animal around here. Every animal, a wild animal, all the animals around here just heard that. The deer, the foxes, the snakes, all of the animals around here that have babies now had to listen to that boom. Cheryl says, if it was a gun, it was a large caliber. No, it sounded like a bomb. Yeah. And of course, what happens is they usually creep up and do that. And then they've got somebody else passing by because any debris that was left behind, the second person comes and quickly jumps to find the debris so that I don't find it the next day. I'm actually doing that right now, River Bluff. It's going to take a couple of minutes. Okay, according to my cameras, it was at 12:04 a.m. So we're going to play this back again. Okay, so this was in a different direction than that other explosion that was on my driveway. That explosion had a pretty mouth. It says on my camera, it says 12:04 a.m. but I'm recording it and then I'll post it online. So now the interesting thing on the camera, I saw the light, the explosion light before the sound. So on the camera, you could see the light of the explosion before the actual sound, but that doesn't mean anything because of the way sound reverberates around here. Oh, that's interesting. 2:04 a.m. explosion, 7:20, then immediately creepy voice comes into the audio in the chat. And as I mentioned, that these criminals always do something disgusting on my birthday. So my birthday is the 21st, and between the 20th and the 21st, they always do something disgusting. So that's their little birthday surprise, one of their little birthday surprises for me. Let's see. They know how to make bombs, but can understand the wisdom of marrying. Oh, okay. I'm losing track of your conversations here. Well, no, I played it back again on the cameras. I wanted to make sure that I recorded it. I mean, not only did you all hear it here and it's recorded in the live. So now, thank you. Now, when this is uploaded, everybody will be able to hear undeniably what my criminal neighbors do. And obviously, yeah, we're talking about the merits of inbreeding, Lorraine. Thank you, River Bluff, for mentioning that. And thank you for the early birthday wishes. Yes, on camera, on audio, we heard what happened here in Jackson County, Kentucky on the driveway. Well, no, it wasn't actually on the driveway, it was to the right. So it was not in direct line of the camera. They didn't want it on direct line. It was to the right. So it was on my property though, and they're trespassing. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Nick. Okay, so KJ says you see the light first because that travels faster than the sound. That's exactly what was caught on the cameras. I saw the light before the sound. And these are evil, sick, loser people. Yeah, in fact, while I'm talking to you guys, I'll upload one of them right now. Okay, so I'm going to be uploading this in a minute, and this is considered to be a short, so it will upload quickly. Let me just write a description here. At 12:04 a.m., July 20th, 2025, during my live chat on YouTube, my criminally minded, disgusting neighbors decided they were going to explode some kind of device on my property, period. Everyone in my live chat heard the explosion, period. This short video was taken from one of my cameras, period. Hashtag Kentucky, hashtag Jackson County, hashtag Sheriff Daniel Isaacs, hashtag crime, hashtag neighbors, hashtag harassment, hashtag menace, hashtag trespassing, hashtag real estate mobbing. Okay. All right, that should be uploaded in a minute. Let's see. Elsie says, those people are totally obsessed with you. They will do anything to get your attention. No, they just want money. They're greedy. They're greedy little inbreds. You're right. They're greedy inbreds. Okay, let's see. I'm Southern, but not inbred white trash. Oh my goodness, Cheryl, that's horrible. Oh, you finally got that guy out of your house? see. When you move, wherever you go, stay away from county seat. Make sure there's no Masonic lodge within 100 miles. Well, that's really difficult. Um, I had no idea that there were three of them, like right where I live. Inbreeding was a Ptolemaic Greek Egyptian thing in which the Masons ritually practice and also keep alive to this day. Oh, yeah, you told me about that, Cheryl. Ugh, that's horrible. That's unbelievable. Well, Kentucky's getting really bad. I don't know if you watch any of the cop auditors on YouTube, but it seems like within the last month in particular, actually longer than that, because it's been actually the last year or so. There was the sheriff in Lecter County that shot the judge, but before that happened, he had a little gang stalking going on there in his with his deputies there, coercing inmates, like females that he arrested, into having sex with him. And then, the Kentucky State Troopers, that's been in the news a lot lately. And then just tonight, just before I signed onto this live, the YouTube channel Here's the Deal posted a video that there was a protest going on here in Kentucky, and that there were like not hundreds, but dozens of cops, four of which would pummel like one woman. They took one woman down and then another one and then a young kid for protesting. I mean, it's just absolutely absurd. Yes, the sheriff, yes, the Mickey Steins, yes. I mean, that was huge news. I mean, that news was actually across the country. That wasn't isolated to Kentucky news, because that was such a big deal because it was caught on camera. The sheriff goes into the judge's chambers, has a chat with him, stands up, and then takes him out right on camera, thinks nothing of it. Oh, goodness. I'm sorry to hear that, Nick. Yes, yes. Yep, that's what they do. It could very well be, con artists. That it could very well be. Um, well, I will say, like historically, and this is going back to New Jersey, on my birthday, like the 20th or the 21st, they're always doing something. Like in New Jersey, they actually sawed the branches off of the tree in front of my house. And then, of course, when I reported it, the police are like gaslighting me, like, duh, you know, what are you talking about? It's like, it's obvious. Look at it. Yes, it's constant monetary drain. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it could be a ritual. These people, they do everything ritual, triangles. They love their triangles. They love their X's. They love their Y's. So let's see. I posted that little video online. Let me see if I can find it. I'll send you guys the link. Actually, it didn't upload yet. Let's see. Let's see what happened here. Hashtag shorts, hashtag short video. Okay, let's see here, guys. My screen is freezing up right now. 1 second. They're little children. They like to make noise. Thank you, Greek Target. It's definitely a bomb. Yeah, it did not sound like a shotgun. And these criminals, that's what they use. They like, the biggest bang for their buck. They're like little children having hissy fits. Let's see. You watch any videos I've suggested last week, knowing how busy you are? Um, I usually do. Let's see. Let me just check on your emails to see which ones I've watched because I got a lot of emails with suggestions, and let me see. Let me see here. Which videos I watched this week. How cops scammed my client and took an innocent guy to jail and got sued. I watched police gang stalking, hierarchy operatives disposition matrix. I watched that. I watched a video. I'm speaking to you, Donald Trump. This is by a psychic. I watched that. Oh, I watched this video. The FBI caught the top level gang stalking, but only in the US. I don't know. Check it out. Maybe I'm trying to manipulate. Blah, blah, blah. No, I didn't see this, but I watched it. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about this video, but I will post this video here. And you guys can watch this yourself. 1 second. And let's see what else we've got here. I'm just going to post a couple of links here in case you're interested. And then a lot of people were interested in what Helena Chorba had to say. She's the civil engineer. That I will post that link to her memorial. And let's see what else we got here. I have raccoons knocking on my door. Let's see here. And here is a video from Redacted on an airline pilot whistleblower was fired for speaking out about not being safe on planes. I know these you won't believe this. When I wake up in the morning and go outside, I've got raccoon paw prints all over the bottom of my front door. Let's see what else was sent to me this week. I literally have raccoons like trying to knock down my door. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And like they're so loud that Zoomy just got up. He's looking at the door. 1 second. These guys, they eat so much too. I got to giving them dog biscuits because they eat so much food. Let me see, they just turn on the light too. Guys, you have to learn how to hunt. Guys, what are you doing? What? 1 second here. Let me see if I can get a picture of this. 1 second. 1 second, guys. 1 second. What are you guys doing? Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're blocking me in here? What are you doing, guys? Come on now. Guys. Do it. Okay, so there are 5 raccoons out there begging for more food. Guys. Here, yeah, run. what's going on here. Okay, so I just fed the raccoon some more food. So I'm going to let the chat run a little while longer so you guys can have a chat amongst yourselves. And I'm going to be quiet for a while and do some other things. And then I'll come back when I'm going to end it. I don't know, Greek Target. I don't know. It may have been another grenade. They used other subscribers have said that, a month ago when they dumped the grenade on my driveway, that it was a flash grenade. And I linked that video to the short that I just posted. This one. Oh, thank you, con artist. Thank you. I'll go check. Can you post the link in the comment section here in the chat? I have another. Actually, all of my cameras caught it, but not all of the cameras caught the light because of the way the camera is pointing. So I can see that it was on my property, but not on the driveway. It was to the right. Like if you're facing my, looking down my driveway, it was to the right. Yeah, I just posted, Kevin, post the link to your channel. Because you know what I've found with a lot of targeted channels? If you type in the name of the channel, it does not always populate. Like I have the hardest time finding Weeping Willow's channel. One, because Weeping Willow, you get all these trees popping up. So unless I have a comment from her, I can't find her channel, even though I'm subscribed. Yeah, so just post a link to your channel. If you've got a YouTube channel, you can post it in the chat. Yeah, the only time I can find her channel is if she comments on one of mine or posts a video and I'm alerted to it. It was 12:04 a.m. A Greek target, 12:04 a.m. That's Eastern time. if Lorraine would stop making 20 videos per week, I'd have time to watch someone else's channel. Oh, did she change the name of her channel? It's so hard to find her channel because, Weeping Willow, if you type it in, you'll get a ton of trees popping up. Everybody that's planted a weeping willow or that's talking about a weeping willow. I think there's even like a musical group called Weeping Willow. It's so hard to find her channel unless you've got a direct link. And I think there's some numbers after her name to identify her. Oh, that is okay. There it is. 8860. Thank you. Oh, Steph. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen anything posted by Steph in a while. Well, at least she hasn't posted on my channel. She's somebody that I think when I first started my channel, I would see comments from her. Under my posts today, earlier today, or I should say yesterday, I posted patents to induce sleep. So there was a US patent 4573449, method and apparatus for inducing sleep in a person suffering from sleeplessness. Then US patent application 20240050688A1 in 2021, device, system, and method to induce falling asleep. Then patent number 1138917, sleep induction device and sleep induction method. So there are multiple patents. And then there are other related patents, 1, 2, 3, 4 other related patents. They focus on using sound, pulses, binaural beats, and EEG entrainment to induce sleep. Then there are light-based methods using specific light wavelengths and wearable EEG guided simulation to guide the brain into a sleep state. And the latest innovation incorporates personalized EEG monitoring and TACS in a helmet to recreate an individual's natural sleep onset brain activity. Oh, they're calling it a cutting edge approach. Night, Elsie. Good night. Well, it's just after 1 a.m. So I'm going to end the live. So in like 1 minute, if you want to leave your last comments. And I'm going to live it. And thank you, KG, for the thumbnail for tonight. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining in and for all your comments and questions and posts. I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to end now. Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes.